Hi guys, and welcome to another Thoughtscapes. Now this video is for all the lovers out there, or even the guys who are thinking of getting a lover, taking someone on a first date. This is the video for you. It is adulting date ideas or the perfect first date idea. So if you are tired of the conventional dating settings, snooze, bore, I'm sick of it, let's just do something else, which are restaurant, bar, cinema. I actually think I either went to a restaurant, bar or cinema for the first decade of my dating life. I cannot think of anything else that I did, which is really sad and goes to show that I don't have any originality. But the older I got, I started to think out the box and found that there were other things that you could do that were far more interesting than sitting down having a meal face to face with someone, or just like watching a movie for an hour or two. So here are some of my alternative date ideas. Escape room. It is so fun. Now for you guys who don't know what an escape room is, it is a game. You go to a venue and they usually give you 60 seconds in which they lock you up in a room and you have to figure out clues and solve clues to get out of the room. Now on a first date this might be intense because you barely know each other, but I recommend it because you see sides of people that you will not normally see on conventional dates, and you also have to work as a team. So that's quite telling because the teamwork there, you'll know instantly whether you vibe as a unit or if you just complete mess. Pottery Cafe or a Colour Me Mine. That was the first date that I went on with the person I'm currently dating, and I'd never done a pottery cafe. I've heard about it. It's where you go to a cafe and they have pre-made mugs, plates, things that are pottery based, obviously hence the name, and you can paint them, decorate them. And I actually thought that this was a brilliant idea because, and I asked my boyfriend why he chose a pottery cafe for our first date, and he said it's because he didn't want to be boring, he wanted to be original, and also it gives you an excuse to sit down with each other, be creative and talk for several hours because you are painting, and it takes about an hour and a half to maybe 2.5 hours to paint depending on what you're actually painting. But it's a good setting because it's very casual and you're not really staring into each other's eyes the whole time. It can be quite awkward on a first date, just looking at each other and just talking and talking. At least there's the element of talking there and getting to know each other, but you're also performing an activity, which is really fun. How about an art museum? Now, even if you're not arty, I think you will have an appreciation if you go to modern art museums, because whenever I go to modern art museums, there are some things which I completely do not think are art. You know, a messy bed or a splat on the floor. Sometimes I'm like, I don't personally consider that art, but some people might. But the fact that it's very subjective, it's a talking point, and that's quite fun because you get to talk, but also you get to express your opinions. Now there could be a difference in opinion there, but that's great because you get to know each other on a very different level, and it's cool. You might have some really great Instagrammable pictures. Some classes that you can do. Cooking class is a great one. Who doesn't like food? And usually that is teamed with some wine and you just cook. It's pretty fun, it's pretty casual, and you make a nice meal at the end of it that you can both eat. So that's pretty cute, I would say. I have also done an art class before where there is someone at the front of the class who is a trained painter, and literally you copy what they do. They'll do a step-by-step process on how they paint a simple painting, and you literally just have to copy what they're doing. But that's quite fun because everyone's pieces are unique, and at the end of the class, if you really enjoyed your date and you enjoyed the activity, you could even potentially exchange paintings. I think that's quite cutesy. And for all the people who are very handy out there, there are certain handicraft classes that you can do. There are ones that I haven't personally been to, but they look really fun and I'm looking into, is upcycling. Bring in an old piece of furniture to an upcycling class, sanding it down and making it look brand new or making it look like a different piece of furniture. That's really cool. And if you want to get active, you can exercise together. Now, for me, exercising on a first date is a little bit like, I don't want to go there because I don't want them to see me sweaty and just like out of breath and all that kind of stuff. But if you're comfortable with each other, or if you just both enjoy exercise, why don't you do an exercise-based date? Now, hikes are nice because you get to spend time together. Sometimes, depending on how challenging and how long they are, you can problem solve together, you can overcome hurdles together. It's really nice. It's a bonding experience. And if you choose a hike with very nice scenery, then you can also appreciate the scenery while you're out there. Another fun one is a trampoline park. Now, usually you see loads of kids at the trampoline park, but why not take your significant other out on a date in a trampoline park? Be big kids for an afternoon and just jump around, chase each other. And I know some trampoline parks have this kind of dodgeball cage, so you can play dodgeball against each other and just get a little bit competitive. But again, it's really fun, it's energetic, and by the end of the day, you're going to be so exhausted that, you know, you might just want to chill later on. How about an exercise class? If you guys both enjoy spinning, or you like that adrenaline, go for a spinning class. Or if you like dancing, go for a dance class, maybe a Zumba class together if you want to get fit. There are so many different types of exercises and classes out there. Just look into it, and if there's something that you both vibe on, then definitely go. And here's another one. This is a challenging one, but for you guys who are up for a challenge, rock climbing is a pretty good one. That's a lot of problem solving. So it might not be like a type of date where you want to get to know each other, but if you want to be active with each other and you want to problem solve together, definitely try out rock climbing. And how about a theme park? Theme parks are usually so fun, and if it's a great day, you can enjoy the weather, enjoy all the rides. And if one of you isn't into the theme park, then that's okay. You can still drag that person along, because half the fun is just pushing you to the extreme, challenging your fears, going on scary rides if you're not good at going on scary rides. But also, if you want to be cute, then you can also go on the not so scary rides with your significant other if they're scared, and really make them feel warm and protected. And no, we're not going to go on that scary ride. Don't worry, I'll go on the teacups with you. This one is a little bit out there, but if you have a need for speed and you both like cool cars, why don't you go on test drives? I'm not saying that at the end of the test drive you are obligated to buy the car, but if you want something really different, I think this is a good one. Go and schedule a series of test drives in one day. Go drive some really nice, fancy, snazzy, fast cars. And just the adrenaline of it, and just being in very nice situation, and maybe pretending like you're going to buy the car and things. Like, that stuff for me is fun. Like, I would love to play pretend. Theatres are like cinemas, but a bit fancier, and you can also theme that with a very nice dinner beforehand and maybe a bar afterwards. It's a nice, complete night. And for you guys who are, you know, 90s kids or 80s kids and grew up in the 90s, nostalgia nights are really fun. I recently went to a nostalgia night and it was great. It was a 90s night. It was all 90s music, and there were 90s retro games, like, what is it called? Like the Super Nintendos there, the Sega Mega Drives that you could play, and there were also 90s games like Hungry Hungry Hippos, Mousetrap, Twister, all the games that you grew up with. It was just so fun, and you can just reminisce with each other and like play some really cool games and listen to music that you remember the lyrics to, and it is a great night for you to like bond and reminisce. It's cool. Karaoke room. Now, even if you are not the best singer, I love karaoke, especially after a few drinks when you're a little bit more confident, and in a group, because if the whole group is singing, then you're less likely to feel self-conscious about, you know, your voice and things. This one's pretty out there, but how about participating in the audience of a TV show or a TV game show? That's quite cool. You can usually sign up for these. It's free, but you have to be put on a waiting list, and it's like a lottery ticketed system. But if you get it, that's something very, very different. What about a boardroom cafe? A boardroom cafe is like a normal coffee shop, but stacked with board games. So you can play Monopoly, Cluedo, Battleships, whatever you like. There's usually every board game under the sun, and that's cool as well because it's casual. You drink coffee, you sit there for a few hours, play different types of board games, challenge yourself, have fun, be a little bit competitive. Yep, so that's my list of all the perfect adulting dates or maybe first dates for you. Do something different, surprise a significant other, get creative, active, competitive, and I'm sure it will bring a different dynamic to your relationship, or it will really give you brownie points with the person that you are trying to woo. Go ahead and hit the like button if you liked any of my suggestions. Also, comment below if you have any alternative suggestions. I am all ears. I'm so up for just changing up my dating settings all the time to keep things fresh. And share this video if you think anyone else may benefit from it. Share it with your girlfriends, share it with your boys, and hit the subscribe button if you like this content. I release videos on a weekly basis on motivation, adulting ideas, pretty much millennial stuff. So if you like that, please do hit the subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. And they usually give you 60 seconds. Furniture. Any other ideas. And